live.
That was cool.
2 weeks since I've done a live because you got to love the holidays. But we're here. Hello, everybody. Let people file in here. Tonight, we don't have the regular co-host, which is TN Aqua, but we got my good buddy Depths Unknown, Jason, and our special guest tonight is Crypt Keeper.
How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Yeah, let people file in. They're probably just finishing up over there on Science Gal Aquatics. Another thing is notifications ain't been the greatest lately.
No. There have been a couple times I was notified of a stream an hour and a half after it had ended. Like, thanks, I kind of wanted to watch it live, you know?
I get that a lot for channels that like I'm subscribed to. Like, oh, so-and-so has a short. I go to play it, and it's like 3 months old. I'm like, why am I getting this notice about this short now?
Oh, I'll get notifications of my own shorts right directly from my channel. Like, yeah, I probably posted it.
Gotta love it.
Well, I have to say that has never happened to me yet.
I'm sure it will. Give it some time. YouTube will play some games with you too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny. My daughter's going crazy right now. She was out there cleaning the kitchen. I was like, yeah, buddy, learn early. Well, I ain't got to do it. And she's only 7. I was like, awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll say a couple hellos, and then I'll just pop them up and wave at them as they come in. We got Eddie was first. He asked, what did he win? Not a damn thing. We got Corey Dorbles, Jeff Kane, Sky Dancer, Scotty the Little Fish Freak. I like adding that in there. Long Shoal, Patty Petite Tanks, Skull. How you doing, buddy? Lady Metalhead. We got the DD.
DD.
Carol Cox, Too Cooley for Schoolie. We got Merrick.
Merrick T.
We got Cody. Oh, there we go. Packing away. Are you on your way home there, Doc? I was kind of wondering when he's going to be coming back. Freaky Fish Lady, because you and I need to get together, bud. We got the Lefty. He's making around stopping by before going back to writing. I think he's writing a book.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, he's doing schooling, I believe.
Oh.
Sounds good, though, doesn't it?
It did. It sounded pretty cool. Like, what kind of book?
Yeah,
How to keep fish.
All right. New local Austin getting ready for work.
Right on, Michael.
Reached the bottom. And hello to the lurkers that are lurking in the chat. We got the Geek Boy. We also got Scuba Steve Vlog.
Listen here, you little.
I didn't do that. It's a new year. I'm trying to change my ways.
Trying to be a better person.
You know,
good luck. Good luck, man.
You're still.
I'm going to be me. I will always be me.
Like a better you
said. Once an asshole, always an asshole. Listen, she don't call me that at least once a day. I know I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
No, my. So we were talking backstage about you streaming today. You just did it to get going.
Yeah. So this morning was my very first stream at 11:30. The stream is not going to be every Sunday. Starting tomorrow at 9 in the morning. That's going to be my weekly slot from 9 to 10 o'clock.
Awesome. Do you have like a certain way you're going to be like doing your streams?
It's mostly going to be watching me do some of the projects that I've got going on within each of the different tanks and upcoming projects for new tanks, stuff like that. I've got an air pump that I'm going to be installing soon. That way I can get rid of the cheap Amazon one that's extremely loud.
What kind of, how many tanks? What tanks?
I've
I see
got
two behind you.
4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 of them that are going to be on the air pump, and then that's a 20-gallon behind me.
Nice. So it's like a rack system on your left.
Yeah, yep.
Sweet. 10 gallons, bigger?
Yeah, they're all 10 gallons except for a beta tank that's directly behind me on the floor. That's a 5-gallon portrait tank.
Sweet.
Sweet.
You have it running on, you said an Amazon pump, so I'm guessing just something you got off the internet, like one of those.
Yeah, it's a VivoSun air pump that's meant for like fish rooms, but it's way too loud for this rack, seeing the racks in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is the one I picked up to replace it.
Oh yeah,
so
that's the one, man. That's the way to go.
Yep.
That thing is like ultra quiet. You're gonna be like, is this thing on?
Oh yeah, with nothing hooked up to it, it's already quieter than the one that's currently going. I had to unplug it actually for the stream, otherwise you guys wouldn't hear any talking.
Is that one of them the silver ones that they sell
with the fins on the outside, the cooling fins and all? Yeah, those things are loud. Those things are loud.
I see it. Yeah.
Yep. They push a lot of air though. They definitely can do the.
Oh yeah, the pump blows. More ways than one, but it blows.
It blows.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
I thought about getting one of them, but then I started hearing about what everybody was saying about how loud they are. That's just crazy. You would think with the feet that it has on, it wouldn't be that loud. Is it just vibrating, or is it just the way it runs?
No, it's just the way it runs. I could have it held in my hand, and it's still super loud. But
and they also run really hot too.
It gets a little bit warm, maybe like 100, 105 or so.
That's why all the cooling fins are on the outside of the body to cool it down. Because depending on how you're running it or how much back, whatever, it can get pretty hot.
Yep.
My experience.
And, so I've got a app on my phone that tells you how many decibels are currently going through the microphone. And from like the 5-foot distance or so, it's reading it like 50, 55 decibels.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty loud.
Definitely not enjoyable to sleep. So.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be. Stephen P. got a comment for us. It's good to see you on the stream.
Thank you, Steve. Definitely happy to be here.
And we got the Vinay.
Color guppies.
What's up?
Sup.
I actually had a comment in a video today, and I don't know how. It's an actual question. You two might know because I don't know. Is there a way for people?
Thanks, Dee.
To figure out if they have, like we had aquarium swap yesterday, which was pretty cool. Like, and it was a fella from Texas. You think there'd be an easy way to figure out, like, to find clubs in their area?
Is that the question? How to find clubs in your area?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I found my local club through Facebook. I just typed in New York Aquarium, and whatever popped up, I kind of clicked the join button and got into a few different groups. The Central New York Aquarium Society was one that was actually a club here and not just like a Facebook group for the area. So that's how I found my local one.
Then there's two people saying that the co-op has that on their website
forum. Yeah,
that's right. Corey was working on that. He mentioned a few months back.
Database.
Well, I thought Amazonas had something like that too.
I know Amazonas in the back of their magazine has like a list of like events that are happening from different clubs. But I don't think they actually list different clubs in your area. They might actually. I could look. I have an Amazonas magazine right around the corner. I'll be right back.
We got Boots and Cats here. How you doing? Working and learning.
Boots Cat.
I know. I think about that all the time. And she also changed her emblem also. It's pretty cool looking. It's a cat and boots. I love it.
I was gonna say, if it doesn't have boots and a cat, I'm out.
It does. So
hey, Skipper, you don't know if there's anything on Fish Fam for clubs and stuff, do you? That would be a cool little link to add into it. Is just link to all the different clubs around the country. Just kind of separate those channels out.
I want to say that's being worked on.
Oh, okay.
I'm not too sure, but I think.
Maybe not, man. All I'm seeing.
I know on their website they have a selection that you could hit where they got events, but the clubs actually they have to be the ones to do the, like they'd have to send it to them so they could put it on the website.
Right. I didn't know if maybe collectively through all of us Fish Fam members, if we could add all of them that we know of, like add a link to the website or something. That way it could be organized and compiled a little easier.
I know, like this is like what I'm saying. They have this, but this looks like this is all their events in 2020 / early 2022.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
This is all 2020. Yeah, this was January 2020. So this is an old magazine, but yeah, they do that. But this is mostly like events.
Ooh, that's loud.
And I don't know how you get it in this magazine, other than sponsoring it.
Yeah, I'm sure you just email them, and they probably put it in there, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, what Scotty's saying is fishfam.link is working on that.
Okay, very cool.
I thought I saw something somewhere that there was going to be an update for that. So you like shrimp?
Yeah, I do.
How long have you been keeping shrimp?
About 3 years or so. I started out in the 20-gallon tank behind me. It was set up for neocaridina. The first batch of shrimp that I ordered was a bag of Skittles, and we all know how that turns out. I tore it down, and I got some beautiful caridina now.
Okay, so you like RO and remineralize, or?
Yep, yeah, I use RO, I remineralize, and I added active substrate instead of the sand and Eco Complete mix that was in there. That just looked like an abomination. Didn't grow anything well either.
I got questions about this. Active substrate, what does that mean?
It's got some organic buffering capacity to bring the pH down.
Okay, and you buy this in a bag?
ADA, Landon, all the aqua soils.
So it's so there's stuff in it that'll actually buffer the pH lower? That's what you're saying?
Yep.
So, okay. And what's the kind you use?
So I've been using Brightwell because it doesn't leach any ammonia in the initial state like every other aqua soil out there.
Okay.
But all of them are going to work. The Brightwell is just what I was recommended at first. That's what I used first, and it worked. So I'm not going to try to fix something that's not broken, you know?
Yeah, no. Yeah. So you use the Brightwell soil, water. Let's just say whatever. You got your minerals, the water where you want it. You put it in there. The soil kind of keeps the pH from rising, essentially.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So the remineralizer that I'm using is only GH, so it's calcium, magnesium. There's no carbonates in it at all. And so that already has a pretty low pH, just the water itself. And then once you put it on that active substrate, it's going to get down below 6 pH.
And that's where you want it for caradinas?
Yeah, for caradinas, that's definitely where you want it. The neos will survive in it, and they'll breed, just not quite as well, from what I've heard. Right. I haven't tried it yet myself on zero KH, but
okay. And you said you strip your water with RO, so you make RO water, and then what is the mineralizer you use? You said GH.
It's just GH minerals, so it's going to be calcium, magnesium.
Is there a brand that you use for this, or is it?
Yeah, it's B Shrimp GH Plus or Salty Bee GH Plus, something like that. It's the one that Grant and Shelby just launched on their website a couple days ago.
Perfect.
It's on goeshrimp.com.
And that's just a GH boost or whatever, basically. And
right. It's the one that's just GH. It's not the one for neocaridina, which also contains KH.
Right. Cool. Definitely cool.
And something I want to look into is I want to start. I at least want to get one tank going. If it works out for me, because my water is dang near RO water, because it comes from, we got a water treatment facility, and the way it's set up, it's pretty much like a RO system on steroids. Because I tested my water and the pH is low, KH and GH is like 3 and 4, like 30, 40. Sorry. So it's low stuff. It's soft water is what I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll probably have to add at least pH back in.
Yeah.
But what's the KH value on it?
I think the GH is 30 and the KH is 40.
So 2 degrees of KH. So I think that one's 20 degrees per or 20 parts
something
per
like that. Yeah, it's some weird like 14.7 or some weird number like that. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. It's a weird conversion.
Yeah, it might work, but with that KH in there, it's just going to reduce the lifespan of the soil itself. So that soil is constantly going to be in a battle with the water, trying to take the carbonates out and neutralize them.
Gotcha. Now, how often when you have your setup do you do water changes? Like
about
you get
once
the
a
tank
week.
where you want it? So you
once a week, every other week when I get around to it.
Right. I mean, I know my experience, shrimp are pretty clean little animals, so you could probably get away with skipping a whole lot of water changes other than I'm guessing solids are going to, TDSs are going to build or whatever.
Yeah, the biggest issue that I've come across with it is if you wait too long, your ammonia is actually going to build up even though you've got a full cycle, because the bacteria culture just isn't strong enough to be able to satisfy the little bit of gradual changes, and it doesn't build back up quite quick enough sometimes.
It can't ramp to speed, yeah.
Right. So if you happen to overfeed one day or happen to lose a snail or lose a shrimp, it really causes a huge snowball.
Wow, okay. Do you run plants in your tanks too?
Oh, yeah. I've got live plants in all of them.
Nice.
I've only got BBA in one of them. That's the 75 downstairs.
I can solve your problem. Let me know, man.
All right.
I got bags for you, man.
He can probably tell you how to try to get rid of it.
Yeah, maybe I should be listening to you.
So that tank downstairs, I don't do a whole lot of maintenance to that at all. It's basically just a top off right now. I am starting to try to breed out the Praecox rainbows in there. Nice. And so with that, I'm going to try to bring the water hardness down a little bit because it is just tap water in there right now. Our tap water is pretty miserable. 600 TDS, 17 GH, 11 KH.
Sounds like my tap water.
Every other month there's lead in it above the EPA limits. Good times.
That too.
That's one thing I never did is I never really tested the water at my parents' house because it's a well. I may do that next time I'm down there.
Can't hurt.
If it's a well, it's probably going to be changing like once a week or once a month every time it rains, you know.
Yeah, probably tends to be a little harder than normal. Whatever.
Yeah. Eddie has a question for you. He wants to know which shrimp breed are your favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I really like the blue bolts that I've got, but I've decided to do a hybrid project with them, and I tossed a couple orange eye males in there. So we're going to see if we can get some orange eye steels out of it.
Those orange eye, right? That's just a description. Their eyes are like that, the orange color when they're blind, right? Aren't they orange eye
No,
shrimps are
it's
blind?
actually a genetic mutation.
Okay,
So
I thought they were
orange
blind.
eyes
Okay.
from birth till death on the whole colony once you selective breed them enough.
Yeah, but I thought that meant that they just can't. They don't use their eyes. Their eyes are like whatever.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Vestigial at that point. They don't.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay. That's cool. I just remember hearing that the orange eyes are actually blind, but I don't know if that's true. That's what I was asking.
It's a good question. I'll ask Grant and Shelby tomorrow on their stream.
There you go.
I do like
There
a
you go.
5-minute segment on there each week.
That's a
asking
good
them
question.
that question. So,
Like
that'll
I'm
be
a
real good
beginner
one.
with shrimp. I have some neos. I know basic stuff like KH, GH, neos, carotenias.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite, and then the other favorite that I've got is the red Nancy tigers, and those are like a deep ruby red, and then on the back of them they've got 3 white stripes. On the cheeks here they've got a small little white dot, but they look really really cool.
And these are both carotenias, right? The blue
Yep.
bolts and those.
Yep.
Nice. Shelby said that they believe that's a myth.
Oh,
The
okay.
blue eye, or the orange eye thing.
Oh, okay.
So, like, which one's the hardest to keep? The Neos or the Caradinas?
The Caradinas, because you have to mix minerals. Most of the time, you can get away with tap water with Neos, but in the end, it's the same care once the water's actually made.
And I guess it depends on what your water is too. I'm sure there's people that got
Right.
water that's just like Caradenia. They don't have to do anything, or very little.
Right.
But you always need the KH for their shells, right?
For the Neos, they prefer like 3 kh or more. I've got a tank of Neos in the adjacent room, and then right behind me, I've got some yellows on the floor, and those are with the tap water at 11 kh. Way outside the parameter they're supposed to be, but they're all breeding nicely.
So the Caradinas, what do they need to be at with? Do they need, I guess, softer, like the KH?
Yeah. So the kh on Caradina is dead zero, nothing at all for carbonates. And then I feed. Let me grab it. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I guess then they're getting the minerals they need from their shells because the GH, calcium is GH, not KH, right? Right. So that's pretty much what they need. And magnesium is GH. So yeah, that would make sense. The bicarbonates are the KH.
So when you strip your water for, like, when you use the RO water, it strips all that, right? It brings everything to zero.
Yep.
Yeah. You want to add stuff, and you just want to add GH then.
Right. That's for the Caradina. You would only add the GH. But and then I do feed this, and like once a week, every other week or so, I'll give them one of them, and that's gonna help to harden the shell.
Those are calcium chips. Is that what the bottom one was? Is that the cats? Cats or whatever?
One's cats, and then the other one's Glass Garden brand.
I got you.
And then I've got Shrimp Envy brand over here. But
nice.
So I do that about once a week, once every other week, because you need some to make the shell stronger and harder. But if it becomes too hard and too strong, they're also going to foul molt. We struggle to get out of their shell if it becomes too hard.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of trying to play a thin line there, giving them enough but not too much.
I see. So if the KH or the GH gets too high, it can be a problem.
If the KH gets too high.
No, or the KH, okay.
Yeah.
For the Caradenias.
Right.
I see. Okay. I think I understand.
I'm really have to do some studying, because I think shrimp are pretty cool though, for real. Like, it's, they're just pretty neat looking. And to me,
it's so many different flavors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There could be some pretty darn expensive ones too.
Oh yeah. Yep. The most expensive one I've got is the purple metallics over here. Those were $50-ish a piece, roughly.
Oof.
Come down in price a little bit on some of the vendors that I've seen, but they're one of the more pricey ones out there.
How often? I mean, are the Caridinias any different when they're breeding? As far as like, I know depending like my Neos, all I do is just have to add water and they're good to go. And they breed pretty prolifically. So, are the Caridinias the same way? Once as long as they're happy and sassy, they're good to go.
Oh yeah, definitely. They don't breed quite as quickly as Neos, but you're still going to be overwhelmed with all the babies within a few months.
Well, it doesn't sound like a bad problem.
No, definitely not. Like my tank behind me has CO2 running in it, and they're breeding in that just fine, even though Grant and Shelby say not to do it.
They just don't prefer it, I guess.
No, it's the risk involved with the tank emptying out and completely gassing them off randomly in the middle of the night or whatever, and completely understandable, you know. Like that's
like a
fear that I've got too, but that's also why it's on the cull tank and not one of the actual tanks.
I was gonna say, doesn't the pH swing a little when the CO2's on and off?
Yeah. I dropped the pH about 1 degree.
Wow.
One thing I don't do is CO2. That's just more work.
Yet. Don't say never.
I ain't doing it.
No. Yet.
I like that.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted. I haven't gone down this road.
I ain't doing it.
Never say never.
Oh no! Whenever I say I'm not doing something, I ain't doing it. That's just all there is to it. Just all there is to it.
But then someday you'll turn around and be like, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing this, and then you do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I know how you work.
Yeah, I know. The doc is leaving. He has a 30-hour travel and transit time before he arrives in California.
All right, safe travels.
That's it. Good journey.
Long trip.
Look forward to some pictures.
We got Diego in here. How you doing, buddy? Hey, hopefully got some. Oh my gosh, blast from the past. What's up, Jeff Rose? How you doing, bud?
What's up?
How many tanks do you have overall?
Overall, 15, and a breeding bucket.
All right.
Counting that? Are you counting that?
Intrigued. What's the
breed? Is that 16?
we could say 15 and a half, I guess.
That's fair.
I gotta ask.
Like in the spring, I'll be setting up another rack of 12, and that breeding bucket's going to go away.
That's what you save now, but it'll be back.
Yeah, if it comes back, it comes back.
Oh, it's an addiction. You can't.
Oh, absolutely.
I was on the phone with Jason earlier today. He's talking about next Sunday doing something, and I'm like, it's really bad right now. I'm down here organizing the basement, and I just can picture more fish tanks.
Yeah.
Then I think, I don't want to get killed.
That's why you don't ask. You don't even mention. You just do it.
Well, I normally do that, but
and then when she comes down to do the laundry or something, you're like, "Was this new? No, this has been here for a while. I don't know what the heck you're talking about."
Best thing I did is I moved the laundry upstairs. Laundry's no longer in the basement. It's upstairs.
Oh yeah, perfect. Oh my God.
Back there listening to all the secrets right now.
Oh, sorry, man. We're ratting you out.
No.
Dee says some other bucket continues to resurface. Yup.
Yeah.
There's always the bucket.
Yep.
Start setting ponds up in your basement.
Oh, yeah.
20-gallon
ponds.
That would be cool. So how long have you been keeping fish?
Me? On and off, like 15, 17 years or so.
What started it? What started this Dude, we got to talk. This is therapy now. Like, what started this problem?
So
What trauma happened to your life?
when I was a kid, we had an aquarium for like a year or two, maybe, and then due to maintenance and odors and stuff like that, they got rid of it. This is like when I was still in diapers age, you know.
Oh, okay. So young.
Junior high, I actually got into the hobby myself, and that was
Right
with
on.
a Walmart Flex tank or Hex tank, 5-gallon hexagon plastic thing. Then I went to college and got rid of it, rehomed everything, and about 6 years or so ago or so, I got back into the hobby with a 10-gallon. My sister decided to upgrade her 20 to a 30-gallon, so that's what this is. This is her old 20. And then back in April, I decided it was time to put up this whole rack.
Nice. Cool.
Been downhill ever since.
No, it's been uphill.
No, that means it's a
I'm still
battle.
reaching for the star skipper. It's not downhill yet.
No, you want to go downhill because it's easier. You go uphill, it's a battle. You don't want
exactly. Water goes downhill easy. It doesn't go back.
Good things are worth working for.
This is true.
You got a point there. I'll give you that.
Cool. So out of all these tanks, they're all shrimp tanks you have?
So this one here has some fish in it as well. And then this one over here also has some fish in it. Downstairs, I've got a community tank. It's a 75-gallon.
Cool. What fish do you have in the two up here?
I've got panda cories. I've got panda guppies. Both of them came from Michael's Fish Room down at the Keystone Clash.
Sweet.
And then I've got a school of celestial pearl Daniels that Grant and Shelby brought up from Florida during the Keystone Clash.
You have any breeding out of your cories?
No, I've never successfully spawned any egg scatter. That's kind of my projects this year I'm hoping to accomplish. And that's part of the reason I'm going to be setting up that rack of 12.
Eduardo's asking if you were at the class. He must not have had his eyes open whenever he was there. But yes, he was.
Yep, I was there on Friday and then for a few hours Saturday morning before I had to return to work.
That's a bummer.
It is.
Well, hopefully,
yeah, I remember hearing you were at the Clash, but I don't remember seeing you at the Clash.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing you either. I don't know.
Bummer.
Saw so many people I recognized, and
yeah.
I mean, there was a lot going on there, you know, especially if you're only there for a day in the morning.
Right. It was my first fish event ever too, so it was
really cool.
And that's funny because that was my first fish event 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It was smaller. It got bigger, and it's getting bigger again.
Yes, I'm super excited for this year's speakers.
Oh yeah.
I've already got my tickets, got the room booked. I put in the request off from work already, so it's confirmed. I'm definitely going to be there the whole weekend.
Sweet.
Man, I wish I could do that early. We can't. We don't do it until August. We put that bid in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we do.
You can't just say, look, I'm not going to be here this day. I'm telling you right now, don't even schedule me because I'm not going to be here.
Well, I mean, if I don't care about my job, yeah, I could do that.
Interesting.
What's up, Joe? That's what happens.
You know, life events, you know, like my kids are getting married or something. They set this date.
Sorry, I'm sick.
I have to request off.
So
a month ahead of time and worry about whether I can get off for my kid's wedding. That would really suck.
Yeah. Oh no. See, if that would happen, I ain't coming to work.
That's what I'm saying.
There is some like leeway to a certain point. But you can only do it. You can only do it so much.
That's true. You don't want to burn those,
Yeah.
charges.
Eduardo is asking about the Lancaster swap in March. It is the 25th. I'll be there.
Yeah,
me too.
Not sure if I'll be there or not. I'll have to take a look at location, see if we can make it.
Yeah, because last year we went to it. It was actually fun. They had quite a bit of stuff, and then afterwards, like when everybody was done shopping, we went out to eat and just hung out. We did that at the swap Saturday. It was myself, my wife, and two kids. Vinay, Fish Rumor, and Big Shrimp, and I got to meet Big Shrimp, and he's a pretty cool guy.
Seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, laid back, very nice fella.
Yeah, but that swap last year. Cool. That swap last year at that place, that pet place, that fish place, was pretty cool. It was a decent swap, a lot of cool stuff, and it was in this place that was like basically like a warehouse for huge. I mean, they had like tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks. And then they had all saltwater section, like in the back, that was like another warehouse.
And then they had, don't forget about the pond section.
That's true. They had the ponds too.
Which that should be up and running by then, I think.
And they had that big stingray pond where you can pet the stingrays. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something to go see. Hopefully they start getting their fish selection up. That's the only downfall. But who cares if you're there for a swap? There for a swap, people are bringing them.
That was on time.
Normally gets some pretty interesting stuff in there. Do you have any future plans of like breeding stuff?
Like so I'm setting up that Racket 12. I'm hoping to get the Pandacories breeding and hoping to get the CPDs breeding. And right now I've got a spawn mop downstairs. Hoping to get the Pracox rainbows to start using it soon. I used Jason's method and used a fishing bobber to hold it up above water. I love that idea a couple weeks ago, dude.
Well, it's, I just stole it from somebody else that I saw somewhere. So don't credit me, man, but it's a good idea.
Fishing bobbers laying around all over, so might as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Go out.
Kind of what I said.
Foam.
I like to make the ones with the corks, the wine corks, but I use 2 wine corks, not just one, because I make them pretty thick.
I just had one. Oh, here. I needed to make an extra mop, and I ran out of bobbers, but I had a thing from New Year's from the champagne bottle, so I drilled a hole in it. I'm going to see if I can do it.
That'll be interesting.
We'll see.
Jesse showed up. Corey Dorvals, how you doing? She must have took a nap. I mean, she was one of the first 2 people here earlier. Get her fired up. So, do you have any clubs up your way? You plan on joining, or?
Yeah, I'm going to be joining up the Central New York Aquarium Society. That's out in Syracuse, Baldwinsville area.
Okay.
In New York.
I'm assuming that's pretty close to you, your neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half or so from here. I'm right between Syracuse and Albany.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like for me, I got to travel like 2 hours. But when it's said and done, it's kind of worth it because whenever I am a member of the CCY and actually the ACLC, they're the closest ones. I went there whenever we went there Saturday. It was actually pretty cool because you got to meet, some of the old heads. Actually, the one guy that helped start the CCY, and I cannot remember his name. But, we were just talking, and it was nice, getting to learn different stuff. I learned something whenever I went there. It was pretty cool. Even though it wasn't an actual meeting, it was just a swap.
Yep. Yeah, this one up in Syracuse, they've got a monthly meeting, and I believe they do an auction after each meeting or something like that. And then they do an annual auction that's open to the public. Last year it was in April.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Yes, Lonnie. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Me and Vinay was actually talking to him for quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was nice to get to see them guys working alongside with them at the Clash the past 2 years. It was nice to see them because I don't have a chance to just get up and go. I don't have every weekend off. I don't have that first Saturday off or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool.
Eduardo just asked, what are in your tanks besides shrimp? I think you just covered that. The Praetcocks and the Cories.
The CPDs and
the CPDs.
Got some guppies, some endlers.
Guppies.
I've got angelfish downstairs. Yeah.
Right.
Got snails in every single one of the tanks, whether it's an ornamental snail or what you guys would call a pest snail. I just love them with the shrimp because it's completely symbiotic.
Yeah, I'm about to get a snail. It's called an assassin snail.
Those are cool too.
I just got this one tank, and I don't feed it a lot, not like every day or whatnot. But they just keep. Wow, it's just crazy.
Do you have Mopani in there?
Yeah, actually I do. That's why.
Yeah, it's probably starting to break down, giving some real good food.
I didn't even think of that. Matter of fact, two of the tanks I have an issue with. Wow, see, I just learned something today.
I never even noticed that. Yeah, I mean, you would think the opposite because Mopani's like a hardwood. Like it doesn't want to break down at all.
Yeah, I found that the Mopani breaks down a lot quicker than like spiderwood would.
Okay, maybe.
Well, I mean, it does.
I mean, I have Mopani that I've had for 20 some years, and honestly, I don't even think it's like shrunk. I don't know. Spiderwood, I don't think I've had that long, but yeah, okay. I mean, it's.
Well, I mean, it has a lot of surface area for that biofilm to grow on. They like to eat too.
And it gets pretty odorous, so I'm just assuming that it's starting to like decay the outer layers and stuff,
Yeah, I never even thought about that. It's a good idea.
Well, all wood that you put in water, it does end up doing that.
Yeah, sooner or later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Tim, you said you were doing this breeding project with blue bolts and something. What's that all about?
Yeah. So, the blue bolts that I got, Grant and Shelby had let me know that there's most likely a tiger gene that was already mixed into them, just from looking at pictures of it. And so I decided, since it's not a pure Taiwan bee anymore, let's just try to give it some orange eyes and get some orange eye steels or something cool out of it. So I don't have a first generation yet from the cross. I just got one of the blue females, Siberia, while it was in the orange eye tank. So I put her back down with the blue shrimp, and we're going to see what happens over a couple generations.
So you grabbed some females, threw them in a tank that had a bunch of blue or orange eyes in there?
I did one female. And then one blue female went up into the orange eye tank, and then I also took two males from the orange eye tank and put it down into the blue tank, so that when the female blue shrimp that got buried with the orange eye, when she gets the offspring and her offspring start breeding with the orange eye male, on the F2 generation is when you'll start to see some of the offspring actually present the orange eye genetic.
Right,
because
okay.
Orange eye is claimed to be super recessive, so.
Okay, so the F1s are going to be born in the tank, and then there's males in there that are orange eye. They're going to breed and produce the F2s that should technically have 2 generations of that same gene in there or whatever.
Right, you need 2 generations of the orange eye gene if you want to have any chance of seeing the orange eye gene at all.
Okay, that makes sense.
The orange eye gene kind of stays
it's recessive or whatever.
Yep.
So there's like a science to this. Like,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is there like a science to it? Like, can you just do that with anything just to see what you get, or? Oh
yeah, each one of the aquariums that we all keep is just a giant science experiment. But in terms of crossbreeding, as long as you're going with a couple different Caridina, they will crossbreed. and chances are you're going to have something cool come out of it. It's not always going to be something expected either. I've got some tangerine tigers in this tank here, and their offspring are throwing 10, 15 different varieties each time. So it's always a little bag of excitement when I look into that tank.
So when you take 10, 15 different varieties, do you separate them out, or you're only concerned with certain kinds, or you don't even care?
That there's just a call tank, so I just let them do their thing, and
I see.
I kind of just enjoy the muddled beauty.
I gotcha.
So how long does it take for them to, like you're saying, the F2s will start seeing it, right? So once you get further on down the line with the breeding, does it stay that way, or does
yes, it does. Yep. So the orange eye tigers that I've currently got, I haven't had a single solid black eye yet from their offspring. So they've been selectively bred enough to where all I'm seeing is the orange eyes.
It's kind of like an albino trait, same idea, right? Except it's a little different.
Probably. I've never bred any.
Is there like they do, like, I know, like with breeding in certain fish, like angels and stuff like that, they have like all these like charts that you can track the genes, any of that stuff. You do any of that, or anybody do that for these shrimp, or is this just like,
so the breeders that
mix it and see what you
done
get?
that for the shrimp, they're keeping a whole lot of secrets. And,
I see.
So they'll say like breed a crystal shrimp with a blue ball, and you come up with, let's say, a fancy tiger, just for example. And they're just trying to throw people off. That way they don't know how they came up with their secret recipe.
Right, they're special, whatever shrimp they're charging $50 a piece for.
Right. The Garden of Eden did a really great live stream that outlined the shrimp breeding charts that are out there, and all the inaccuracies that he was able to, that Grant and Shelby were able to find through it. So that's a really good stream if you're interested in the crossbreeds.
Eduardo said that Grant and Shelby have a list of cross-dressing shrimp. Good to know.
I'm sure he's going to blame that on his keyboard too. He actually had a question also.
Yep.
That's too funny.
Oh man. I'm going to leave that one alone. He wants to know, with your plants in your tank, what type plants do you keep?
I keep mostly crypts, and I've got moss in every one of the shrimp tanks. But I don't keep too many rooted plants in my tanks with the shrimp, except for this one here with CO2. That's my call tank, so if something happens, I'm always going to have more off from each of the main colonies to be able to supplement with anyway. But from my understanding, every time you mess with the substrate, you have a chance of introducing a bacterial infection to the shrimp. So that's why I go with the crypts. They're super slow growing, so you don't have to move it until the soil's expired after a few years, you know.
Crypt Keeper Aquatics.
Yeah. It's in the name.
In the name.
Actually, crypts are one of my favorite also. I like it. They're pretty easy. I mean, you can shock them though, but if you do it right, you don't have to worry about it. I do like those myself.
I'm a big fan of crypts.
I don't know. I mean,
I like the texture around the edges of the leaf the most. That's what drew me to the crypts.
I had one in there, but I think the fish took care of that. It was a nice one. They took certain fish. Well, in that tank, I got like an electric blue car, a bush fish, true Siamese flying foxes,
Whip,
a rainbow fish, and some catfish. I'm sure one of them took care of that plant. Plus, I think I need a stronger light too.
For crypts?
Well, to get to the bottom because of the depth of it.
Oh yeah, it is a taller tank.
They're down here, it's different when it gets down there.
Yeah, deeper.
Yeah, that's why I just have a lot of Anubis and Java fern in there. I don't have to spend that money on expensive light. Ugh.
If you can turn up the blue light spectrum, do that. The blue light usually penetrates a little deeper.
Let's remember that. That one don't have that.
That's why all the saltwater tanks always have that blue tint to it, because that's what happens when you go deeper in the ocean. Everything turns blue. Before it turns black, it turns blue.
It's true. Yeah.
The actinic or whatever they call that. Yeah, that's cool.
Wow, we got 10 minutes left. Is there anything that
That's it?
you would like to talk about? Yeah.
It's been quick, right?
But is there anything you would like to talk about?
I don't think so. I've got a stream tomorrow morning, my first project stream, so that'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow morning if anyone wants to stop by and say hello.
We'll definitely try.
Mods would please post his channel so that they can hit the subscribe and like, and also the bell.
I know you said this earlier. Monday, 9 a.m. Is it every Monday? You're going to try and do this?
Every Monday starting tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Then
Cool.
next Sunday I do have another stream at 11:30 with one of my viewers in Vertigo. He had some questions on Caradina and thought it would be easier to go up on stream with me and back and forth interview kind of questions with it.
Perfect.
Oh, that'll be a good stream. Everybody needs to tune in or catch the replay if you're like me, whenever you can't watch that while you're at work.
Yep.
We said 11:30 on Sunday. 11:30 Sunday. Well, I know somebody that streams Sunday morning. I'll try and have them send them to you.
The easy stream.
The easy stream.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yep. Yeah, I will send them your way.
Now, Eduardo said he thought he saw you were showing off some of his crypts today, not immersed plants. What?
I'm guessing you have crypts that are not immersed or that are immersed.
Oh yeah, I do have some crypts immersed that I was showing off in the stream this morning, and then in each of the tanks I do have some crypts planted as well, submerged. Yeah. So tomorrow, some of the immersed crypts are going to be going into these pots here. So I'm going to be putting them into these, and one of the pots I'm going to crop the tops of the leaf off. The next pot I'm going to leave them just as is, and I haven't decided on the third pot yet, but they're going to go right here in this tank, so it's a little quicker growing. And I'm going to compare the rate of new growth from each of them.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
That is kind of cool. That little pot thing you got, that's like a glass thing just for
holding it's plant? A glass planter pot. It's got a couple of suction cups there.
Sweet.
I ordered some off from Amazon, and then when I was down at the Clash, Cat's Aquatics was handing them out as feeders for her calcium chips.
Nice. I missed that.
Yeah, I did too. That's a pretty sweet idea. Cool. Man, get some.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I gotta look.
No, I was just gonna ask. Speaking of calcium chips, like I know we talked about the calcium chips, but is that the major food that you feed? Is the shrimp envy stuff, those Cat's chips, and something else?
I've got maybe about 20 different varieties of shrimp foods that I like to spoil them with. So it's all on rotation. I've got some spirulina. I've got some protein-rich food here from Shrimp Envy. I've got a complete formula that has a bunch of botanicals like mulberry leaf, spirulina, almond leaf, stuff like that. Got some bee pollen from the Garden of Eden. It's called the bee's knees. And it's like little granules of bee pollen that float down and feeds them, helps with the
I actually got some of that. You just reminded me. I got some of that when I was at the Triple Crown. I got some of that bee pollen stuff. It's like food grade too. You can eat it yourself.
Yes. Yep. It's all it
Pretty
is.
good.
It's pure
pretty good.
pollen. Yep.
Not,
And then
I'm not gonna say I ate it, but I ate it.
got snowflake food from Garden of Eden. It's just soybean husk. That's all it is.
I got that. Yeah, I got that stuff too. Actually,
that's actually
flash.
really good to feed long term. It'll feed your shrimp for like 5-7 days or so. It doesn't raise the ammonia or anything like that.
Yeah, it's the stuff that kind of like it almost kind of like falls apart and just sits there in a pile and just until they whatever eat it.
Yeah. Yep. So I put some in my Yellow King Kong tank up top about a couple hours ago. If you guys want to take a look, I can move the camera.
Fine, yeah.
Go ahead. Well, what does that pollen stuff do for the fish, shrimp, or whatever, whoever eats it?
It's like it's just a food, I guess, a type of.
Hopefully, you guys can see through the glare.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
You make them big.
Yeah. And that's the pollen stuff that you have at the bottom?
No, there's the soybean husk, the snowflake food.
Oh, okay. What does that do for the fish, for the shrimp itself?
That's just gonna feed them. There's, as far as I know, it's not real protein rich or anything like that, so it's not gonna leach any ammonia into the water, but it'll stay there for quite a while.
See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, that's like this is the bee pollen granules.
Yep.
I got this at the Triple Crown. But this is like food grade stuff. You're supposed to be able to eat it.
Yeah, this here's the one that Garden of Eden just released.
It tastes kind of like it's actually not bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's better than that.
A little alfalfa y.
Oh my, that's funny.
Whoa. Okay. That's not.
Yeah, it's a little bit vegetal, a little sweet.
It's crazy. Corridorable wants to know what you keep your cage in GH or your TDS at for your shrimp, I believe.
So I use reverse osmosis deionized water. I'm using a 6-stage system, so it comes out 0 TDS from that. And then using the BGH plus mineral, it raises the TDS to around 130 to 150, 160-ish. I like to keep the GH around 5 to 7. Now, with blue bolt shrimp in particular, the higher your GH, if you can kind of creep it more towards the 6, 7, they're going to start to show a little darker blues for you. And then KH is dead 0.
So when you're mixing this GH and stuff, you just go by it, like I'm sure you've tested at some point, but do you test every single time you mix it, or you just mix it up to like the standard? So you do the drops, whatever, every single time you're counting 12, whatever is 3, 5, 7 drops, whatever it is.
So when I remineralize, I'm just putting all of my faith into the TDS meter, which I do not recommend to anyone. Get your drops, test the KH and GH yourself. But
Gotcha.
For me, between like 130 and 150-ish TDS puts me right around where I need to be.
And you're only adding the GH, so you know that's kind of going to get you real close to whatever.
Right. Okay. I'm starting
but
out
that makes
with
sense.
0, and I'm always using the same mineral product. So.
Right. No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I was just curious how you did it.
Yep.
And
that saves you a lot of time.
The KH0 is for the Caradinas, correct?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
We have a lot to learn. I don't know if my brain can handle it.
Well, you got to hang out with the Garden of Eden every Monday night.
There you go.
Why? He breaks stuff.
Yeah, he also floods tanks on strings. So.
But that's how you learn, right? How are you going to learn when it's going to break if you don't break it?
Comic relief. Gotta love it. All right, we got like 30 seconds left. I want to thank everybody in the chat that showed up, also the lurkers, the mods for doing a great job for posting links. Susie Q will be live here in a few seconds. So I want everybody to go over there. I do not have 1,000 subs yet, so I cannot do that. So I want to thank Crypt Keeper for being our guest tonight. And also Jason for stepping in for Tea and Aqua. That was nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you so much for having me. It was definitely a lot of fun.
It was. Thank you.
Good time.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you guys later.
Later.
Peace. Love your fish.